Michael Larkin, welcome back to the program. You were with us when you were in for the convention, weren't you?
Goramahigat a garage.
I haven't been called that in a while.
agus Majin Bra go got aine atá ag éisteacht an Majin Shaw in Cleveland. Thank you, Gerry. Good morning to all your listeners here in Cleveland. Earlier on, you played a track from Van Morrison, and of course, going back a number of years, one of Van Morrison's well-known songs was "There'll Be Days Like This." For me personally, and I'm sure for everybody here in this studio, and indeed in this wonderful city of Cleveland, today and this weekend is one of those days, one of those weekends. It's a privilege to be here and to be part of the Greater Mayo Society of Cleveland. I'm privileged to be here.
Now, Michael, some of your family were pioneers in the telephone industry in this country, weren't they?
They sure were. Earlier on, the Chief Executive Officer of Mayo County Council spoke about connectivity, and which I feel very strong about myself. The newly installed transatlantic cable, right now, the most modern cable in the world. But if we go back 100 years ago, an ancestor of mine, Thomas Larkin, he immigrated from County Mayo, from Ballyhane, Ballintubber, County Mayo, and he was a pioneer. And back then, he was helping to deliver what was then the most modern form of connectivity as an employee of the Bell Telephone Company in southwestern Pennsylvania, but he would have ventured into northeast Ohio as well. And, you know, it's ironic that the transatlantic cable has now landed in County Mayo. I think that's a unique connection, and it's almost like history repeating itself.
Okay. I must tell you this. When I was in high school, I called home, got in a little trouble in the school, called home to talk to my father, and there was only one telephone in the village. It was the Clohans post office. But it was wired in such a way that the next village over was hooked onto it too. And then there was a couple of telephones in that village and another village. But anyway, there was like 6 or 7 phones converged on this one post office. So I called home and I'm complaining to my dad about the school and how I hated the school and I wanted to come home. And the next thing I know, the whole village was listening in on the conversation. Everyone heard everything I said, but that's the way it was in those days. That is the old phone, you crank the handle, remember that, where you wind it up? So I just wanted to, you kind of reminded me of that, the way it was in the old days.
And if I may, Gerry, without interrupting you, one of the quotes that this gentleman made when he returned to County Mayo in his retirement years, believe me, the day will come when you will be able to see the person you are speaking to on the telephone. But of course, at that time, when he returned, words like that were seen. Look, don't take any heed of that old man. This won't happen. Right? But of course, we now know that with modern connectivity, all that has come to pass.
Michael, you have another connection to the state of Ohio through the clergy, right?
Yes, maybe not directly myself through the clergy, but certainly in my own homeland of Ballyhane. The former auxiliary bishop of Cleveland, Bishop James McFadden, his ancestors were born in Ballyhane. He later went on to become the first bishop of what was then the new diocese of Youngstown. And that's a very strong connection with Mayo, with Ireland of course, but particularly with the townland where my ancestor Thomas Larkin immigrated from, but the McFadden family also immigrated from Ballyhane many years ago.
Now, Ballyhane is famous for something else, aren't they?
We'd like to think that they are.
Yes.
And I had the pleasure and the privilege of meeting Mr. Paul Dolan on Friday evening. And of course, all of us here, and indeed across the Atlantic, we certainly wish the Cleveland Indians all the success we can, and I have no doubt, while certainly we are waiting for a famous cup to arrive in County Mayo for quite a while, but certainly when the Cleveland Indians in a few weeks' time, I can well imagine Cleveland will rock, and certainly we will be all behind them. The game of that wonderful game of baseball, not very big in Ireland, very big here in the United States. But Ballyhane Braves, for a short while, the game of baseball, I'll stop short of saying it flourished, but certainly for a number of years, baseball was played in Ballyhane, and that was unique. in itself, in that in the west of Ireland it would be most unusual to to have a game like baseball. Paul Dolan was really impressed when he heard that the last evening, and he has certainly said that he would love to visit Ballyhane when he hopefully comes to Ireland in the near future.
I like the way you twisted his arm trying to get him to set up a farm team in Ballyhane.
Well, indeed, it was my pleasure to have certainly met with Paul, and as I said, we wish them all the very best of success.
That's great. Thanks, Michael, and thanks for coming over. It's great to see you as always, and it was nice seeing you on our trip to Ireland.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
So listen, we're winding down, you guys, all our distinguished visitors. Sinead, would you do it one time for me? Your last name. My wife Nellie was agonizing on how to pronounce the name, and I told her 1,000 times, but she still didn't get it right. Can you, now she's listening, can you tell her how to really pronounce the last name?
Well, I have to compliment her. She at least tried.
Oh, she did.
And very hard. So my name is Sinead Niahartha.
Niahartha. You listen to that, Nellie? Niahartha. I can imagine the contortions she's going through right now. Terence, thanks again for coming out and joining us at the Mayo Ball. You make it very special. All of you that come here every year, your support is really appreciated. We love having you.
Thank you, Gerry, and I would like to take this opportunity in wishing all of you well here on the radio station. You do great work for the Irish community here. Well done. And as you know, you're listening to Back in Achill live every Sunday.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And Kenny, as always, it's great to have you with us. Did you get a chance to do any dancing last night? You're quite an accomplished man on the dance floor. I've seen you.
I don't know is accomplished the term that would be used to describe it. God help anyone who gets in my way, put it like that.
There's some videos, I think it's on the Mayo website, of you dancing at another one of the balls years ago.
Yes, and the pictures, I got a notification from Facebook, an image from 5 years ago, and I think it was in one of those moves for that video.
And Michael, thank you once again for being with us. Like I said, we really enjoy having you guys here.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to have been here.
Here's Kieran Turish.